All right, hey, what's going on, guys? So we are living in a time right now where you have to be aware of Satan's devices and what Satan likes to do, because we are an educated, we are a developed, we are a technologically advanced society. He will use what he can to get into your mind, to get into your head, and to really convince you of an ideology, of a thought process, to get people to agree, bandwagon effects, so many different things to capture your mind and heart. And what you've got to realize is that Satan doesn't just do this randomly out of the blue and then just throws it in your face. What Satan likes to do is he likes to build things up over a course of time. He will slowly itch at you little by little through your wounds, through your own weaknesses, through your friends, through all these other things, worldly ideologies, culture, upbringing. So many things will add up. And Satan doesn't sit there and just give you some weird random ideology, right? If Hitler himself were to have just come here out of nowhere and then just told you, hey, we're gonna have to send, all the Jews over here. We're gonna gas these people. We're going to, you're gonna say Hail Hitler to me, and he just did that randomly out of all of a sudden. You're not going to be able to believe that. You're gonna look at him, you're gonna laugh at him, and you're gonna say, get out of my face. You're tricking nobody here. But the funny thing is that in society right now, a lot of things have built up to the point where if somebody from 200 years later, somebody from some other time period, if they were to be placed into the society, they would see people going, whoa, why are you being influenced by that? Why is it that you're believing in these things? Why is it that you have these cultural doctrines? Why do you believe in the movement of XYZ, these, radical, whatever, these legalistic, these liberal, these non-Christian, whatever values? And they're going to look at you and say, you must be crazy. But the problem is that we don't realize that Satan has been building things up slowly. When you were little, throwing little ideologies, throwing culture at you, confusing culture with doctrine, biblical doctrine, and you haven't been trained up in a way to realize and be outside of what's going on in the world. And so you have to be aware of Satan's devices. And this is the problem we have in society. A lot of people are not aware of it, and we're going along with the flow of the world. We're going along with the spirit of the Antichrist. And it sounds extreme. It sounds like, oh my gosh, you're just this extreme right, whatever. You're such a conservative, whatever, a traditional, whatever. But if you were to literally take yourself out of a scenario, take yourself out of society, from what people are telling you, what the world is doing, what the movements are, what the progressive things, the woke movement, and all this different stuff, and put yourself outside of that realm, from what your teachers tell you, from what your parents tell you, from your friends and all this stuff, then you would have more clarity of thought. And that's what we're in right now. People in the 1940s and the 50s, when Hitler came to power, some of and I'm not backing them, I'm not justifying it, but some of those people, they were just moved because of their building up of that culture. They were moved because there was not necessarily this overnight radical movement. It was part of their culture, their society, and they just moved with that flow. And so in some sense, you can't blame them, but in another way, they were moved by the spirit of the Antichrist. If they had discernment, if they had a biblical mindset, if they had a God-centered, Christ-centered relationship, maybe they would think otherwise. Maybe they wouldn't have shot some bullets. Maybe they wouldn't have sent some people to the gas chambers. And I'm sorry for being sensitive to this issue, but you got to realize where you are in society and how culture, how things that are in the world is influencing someone's mind. And this is how Satan works. He builds things up over time. And this is just an example from cultural things, but even in your life, your sins, he doesn't just give you pornography all of a sudden, you just love it. He doesn't give you murderous, an intent to murder somebody. He doesn't give you something crazy radical just overnight. You open yourself up little by little. You get tempted by it. Sin is crouching at your door, and then you get fed into that, and then you get influenced by that. So you have to be aware of these things. And again, I'm not trying to yell, I'm not trying to be all radical about this, but it's an awareness issue. It's being cognizant, and it's praying over these things, and so that you don't get caught up in society, you don't get caught up in Satan's devices. So be encouraged, guys. I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys very soon.